right. All right. Yo, all right. Nobody move.
And as I was preaching, I seen 3 to 4 armed men come in, and I just told my church, because see, when you're a shepherd, right, you have to lead your sheep. You have to lead your sheep, and you have to protect your sheep. And when I seen the armed men come in, you know, it was specifically for me. It was specifically for me and of course my wife. And when I seen them come into the sanctuary with their guns, I told everybody, get out. Everybody just get out, right? Everybody get out. I didn't know if they wanted to shoot the church up or if they were just coming for a robbery. And they were all black men and they had masks, but I can see their face. And they came in and they took all of my wife's jewelry and took all of my jewelry. And then they left. However, these young men didn't know that cameras were on, and we know what car you was driving. They was driving in a white Mercedes CLA Benz. We know what car you're driving in, and we also know that you switched your clothes in the car, because I ran after them. When they turned the guns and went down, I ran after them. When I seen them across the street going to get in the car, I didn't have my car keys. So I told them to get my car keys, and I drove to run after them. Lo and behold, to me, I had drove by them, but we know that they changed clothes and they took the masks off.
What up, guys? LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. What's up, Wagunda? Alright, today we got a gun rant video talking about what you just saw before, you came to saw me. So, the church in New York was robbed by armed men, right? And, they robbed the bishop, the wife, and supposedly some other churchgoers, and left out with several $100,000 worth of merchandise that they stolen from the members. And, the bishop said he had chased them outside. Once they had turned to leave, he had chased them out, and, they had them on camera and everything. So, alright, my thoughts on this. Again, soft targets, that's what they look for. Places where people feel safe. People feel safe in churches. People feel safe at stadiums, concerts, malls, places like that where there's distractions and stuff, right? Where people feel safe is where criminals are targeting the most, because those people are less likely to be ready or prepared or have any preparations for them to commit any type of crime, whether it be murder or robbery, arson, etc. Right? So, the bishop was smart. If you know that you and your church members or your people are unarmed and there are armed men coming in to rob you, yes, do not fight. Give them what they want. You can replace jewelry, rings, cell phones, materialistic items. Those things we can replace. Human life cannot. So that was smart of him to tell his church members, hey, to get down and don't fight, comply. Right? Where he was wrong was where he got up and chased after these armed men. Why would you do that? Why would you chase after armed men? What if they stopped, turned around, and shot and killed you? Right? You was fine. If you stay in the church, let them take what they want and leave, you've been perfectly fine. But if you went over after them and they actually stopped and decided to take your life at that point, you can't get that back. And what you were chasing after them for is not worth your life, right? So thankfully he wasn't harmed in any way. And he said they have him on camera, the vehicle that's driving it and everything, this, that, and the third. So my word to the bishop is, Bishop, I'm in Florida. Whatever the limitations, the statute is to have armed security, not just people standing in there with a whistle and whatnot, but to have armed security in your church, you need to start looking at that, right? I don't know what the policy is in New York for having firearms in churches, but if you have members that have firearms and are trained and trusted with those firearms, if they can come to the church and you allow them to carry in your church, then I would definitely do so, right? Because you don't want this to happen again. You want your church to feel safe. You want your members to come there. You want them, to bask in the presence of the Lord and everything that goes on in the church. You don't want them to be in there looking over their shoulders, worried, in the next hymn, am I going to get robbed, right? Am I going to get past a communion plate and get a gun pointed at my head at the same time, right? So, Bishop, I would start looking at armed security if you haven't already. If you have, all right, cool, then, then don't trip on what I'm saying. But if you haven't, definitely reach out to people in New York. There's armed security companies in New York. I know there's armed people in New York with firearms who understand the law. I'm pretty sure, I know you can't carry like armed, like loaded and everything, but I'm not sure if you're able to like put your gun in the case in a backpack, ammunition separate and everything, right? Do all that, and you transport it to the church. You get to the church, you load it up, right? Like you're about to go to the range, put it in your holster, concealed carry throughout the service. Once the service is over, all right, you download. There you go. You download your pistol into the state or city certified way, and then you go home. So if that's an option, I would definitely do that. If your church is hard on funds with buying armed security, I would see if the church members in the church would bring the firearms, or if you yourself would go out, purchase firearms, get like 1 or 2 shotguns, get like 2 shotguns, maybe like 4 or 5 Glocks, right? And then have members in your church who are armed with firearms carry these firearms, or have these firearms stashed in certain places to where if something happened, your members can get those firearms and defend the church. So, guys, I want to know from you, what do you think about the incident, and what would be your advice to the bishop? What would you tell the bishop after his church got robbed like this? What would be your advice to him? Put that down in the comment section and let me know. On top of that, thank you for watching the video. If you're looking for guns, gear, and product, hit the Patreon link. I post them on there so you guys can get it sometimes at a discounted price. It also helps support the channel. If you're looking for firearm classes or to get your CCW certificate, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I do travel, but you need at least 6 people or more for me to leave the state. So with that being said, guys, get down to the comment section. Let me know what you think. What would you tell the bishop? And make sure you hit that like button at the same time. It helps the video get boosted to the algorithm. So stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.